Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Nice to have you on with us. Once you get your notifications to the doctor is in. And we love saying hello to our dear friends that just tell us they're watching this morning and listening on our podcast. We appreciate it. Big time. Okay, so Andrea, you're number one this morning on the hit parade from Niagara Falls. Brahim, you're right behind her at number two. Rosalinda, well represented Niagara Falls. How are you? Janice from Brampton, right at the top. Sandy, Chilliwack, British Columbia. Wendy's on from Markham. And Gail, how are you? And Brahim says we love you all. Well, we love you big time. Patricia from Florida. Joanne from Port Salerno. Georgie. Kevin. And our mayor, Sharon from Kansas. Nativity. Nativity's always asking how I'm doing. Well, I am doing well. Hi, Paula Joe. How are you? Rosa from Montreal. Lynn from Aurora. Lisa, good morning to you. Bonnie, Little Britain. And Helga from Scarborough. John and Linda from Fenland Falls. Elsie, good morning. Cheryl, West Virginia. Patricia, how are you? Daphne, nice having you on. Paul, St. Thomas. Frida from Devlin. And Marilyn from Truro, Nova Scotia. Dennis from Norwich. Patricia is saying hello from Florida. Carol, West Virginia. Judy, New Brunswick. Fran from Orangeville. Sherry from Mississauga. Diane, Peterborough, good morning to you. Hi, Bruno. Nice having you on. Milika. Good morning to you. And Maureen, how are you, Maureen from Boca Raton? Janet and Sandy from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Donna. And Rosalinda saying hello to our mayor. Grace. And Brahim's asking about our daughter. Well, thank you for asking. Keep praying. Patricia, Sudbury, Etta. Linda in Worthington, snowed in. Man, we got Sudbury crazy. Karen, Innisfil. And John, hi John, how are you? Arlene, couple of more guys and we'll get going. Brenda from Hamner. Wendy from Aylmer. Linda from New Brunswick. And Francis from Vaughan. Okay. Hi Karen. Sue. St. Marie, Ontario. Okay, Sylvia, Darlene, guys. Thank you. Hi, Rhoda. Okay, I just want to finish up on yesterday's podcast. Okay, what did we talk about? Location. Okay, and I brought out my little 1 pound of fat. And I said, okay, there's really two types of fat, guys. Subcutaneous, okay? We all have it. You want to have a little bit of fat underneath your skin, okay? Subcutaneous, under the skin. Have some fat there, no problem. And what did we talk about yesterday? Having fat in the butt or having fat in your liver, what's worse? And guys, it ain't even close. Okay? It ain't even close. Because the dangerous fat is fat that's around your organs, and that's called visceral fat. Okay? Organ fat. And here's bullet points on yesterday. The more muscle you have, the better it is. Because muscle is the first place, even before your liver, is the first place that your body will store glucose. But it fills up very quick. So the more storage bins you have in muscle, the better it is. And by the way, ladies, I'm talking to you too. Get stronger, okay? I'm not talking about, you got to go in a bikini contest and win a prize. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about you being stronger, because if you're stronger, you got more place to store glucose that turns into glycogen, fat. You got storage bins. And by the way, one of the ways to avoid osteoporosis, osteopenia, stronger muscles, stronger bones. Those bones become anchors for your muscle. And the stronger your muscle is, the bone builds bone. The best way to build bone is not taking calcium. That's what the thinking is in medicine. Well, we'll give you calcium, and if that's not working, we're going to give you Fosamax or other medications to build bone. That doesn't even build good bone. It don't work. It never worked and never has, never will. You're not building strong bones. Strong bones come from muscle. Okay, so now back to your metabolism. Okay, so muscle. It's a great way to store bins. Takes a lot of pressure off your liver. Okay, so now the liver, we talked about it yesterday, the Costco parking lot. The vast majority of people, and let me just say this as a blanket statement, okay? The vast majority of people in North America, they don't know it because they've been lied to, are walking around 24 hours a day and they're secreting insulin even when they're sleeping because of their diet. They were told carbs are the best. The best macro that you can eat is a carbohydrate. And we know this because the food pyramid, which they flipped in the United States, hallelujah. I'm not holding my breath in Canada. Because the food pyramid people got hijacked years ago. I don't even want to go into a lot of detail, but you got to go back 100 years and more even with Dr. Kellogg's. He flipped the whole idea of eating, and it took him about 50 years and then after him to convince the world that cholesterol was the problem. Eat cereal, eat grains, and lay off the meat. Lay off the animal kingdom food. And animal kingdom had a big X through it, and the rest is history. The world went saturated fat, stupid. And I was screaming against that. Screaming against saturated fat stupidity. Because saturated fat don't make you fat. Saturated fat and cholesterol that you're eating, because cholesterol is only found in the animal kingdom, is actually good for you. Okay? It's good for you. And saturated fat don't make you fat. Insulin is the key, because insulin is a storage hormone. That's its job. You eat crappy carbs, your body breaks that down into sugar rapidly. And insulin says, well, you're in a no parking zone, sugar. You cannot stay in the bloodstream. Come with me. I'm going to park you. Can't stay in the blood. So we all know this. It's always good to go over it. And it gives you my raison d'etre. Why? Why Dr. Martin is always talking about insulin. Like he's got a one-track mind. Well, primarily, I'm a food guy. My PhD is in food, clinical, nutrition. And I got to tell you about it. And we've been lied to, okay? So most people, because of their diets, kids especially today, terrible, constantly eating crappy carbohydrates. And we talked about this. When you start building this around your organs, your body sees that fat, not on your butt. Okay? It doesn't see your fat on your butt. Okay? As a foreign invader. Okay? It doesn't. What your body sees as a foreign invader is the fat around your organs. When the liver gets all packed up with fat, your body, and this is what we talked about yesterday, is your body responds to that. It sends the ambulance in. Pro-inflammatory markers like cytokines. And what happens, if that happened just for a few minutes a day, who cares? But it's when inflammation doesn't get turned off that it's so destructive. It's so destructive. Okay? So I always tell people, okay, here's some bullets. Here's some bullet points. Don't fear fat in your diet, except bad fats. Bad fats, bad oil that was meant for your car and not for you. Mankind always thinks they're smart. They're smarter than God. So what do? They invent. And some of the inventions are wonderful. They really are. But, again, influenced by the likes of Ansel Keys and Dr. Kellogg's and others, the world went saturated stupid, and it said, well, we're going to get a polyunsaturated fat, and we're going to make it. And they're called seed oils. Canada's gift to the world, canola oil. And the world, it's polyunsaturated. It's not saturated fat, therefore must be good for. No, your body doesn't even know what it is. Your body doesn't know what kind of oil that is. It doesn't know that because it's like, I'll give you an example. Margarine versus butter. You have butter. Your body goes, okay, I know what that is. That's good for me. There's a lot of saturated fat in butter. There's a lot of vitamins in butter. It's tremendous dairy product is butter. Okay? The world goes, butter, that makes you fat. Butter has cholesterol. Yes, that makes you have heart disease. So let's flip butter for margarine. Okay? And margarine, okay, they even say, well, we even make it look like butter. I used to tell my patients in the office, well, why do you want a product that looks like butter? Why don't you just eat butter? Well, my cardiologist said, I know, but they don't study nutrition. Imagine you're a heart doctor. God love them, but they don't study nutrition. So cholesterol boogeyman, saturated fat boogeyman. Let's change, like I said, the most dangerous meal of the day is your first one. Because 90-something% of all North Americans, they start their day on the wrong foot. They carb loaded their breakfast, their first meal. And now pancreas, oh, well, here we go, hard working. I guess we're going to work double shifts today, says your pancreas. Because if you start your day with oatmeal, you start your day with toast, you start your day with jam, you start your day with Fruit Loops, Pop-Tarts. Kids, what happens? Insulin goes, okay, let's go to work, man. We're gonna have a long day today, right? And then they drink orange juice. It's Tropicana. I heard that a million times. Who cares? Anyway, so you see what happens? Now insulin. It has no choice. Diabetes, guys. You know what diabetes is? It's sugar diabetes. And you know what diabetes is? Your pancreas is worn out. That's what it is. Type 1, well, it's different because it's autoimmune. The pancreas doesn't work, even at a young age. But you know what diabetes, and diabetes, by the way, type 2, they call it, but it's really sugar diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is, you know what happens? Your pancreas gives up. Doesn't work. Insulin doesn't work anymore. Sugar is left now unattended. So what do? They give you meds. Here's metformin. Here's other medication. Why? Well, your pancreas is not working. Do they talk to you about their diet? You can reverse that trend. This is what I used to tell. You know me and my little stories. My patients, you have an allergy. What? Well, I just looked at your A1C, and I just looked at your sugar in the urine. You have an allergy. Can't have no more. And it's food. And it's, because, it's not your fault. It's genetics. Genetics might load the gun, my friend. It makes you more susceptible. So if there's any First Nations people, Indigenous, listening this morning, yep, you got bad genetics for that. Anyone from East in India, or the Middle East, in Egypt, for example. Yeah, you're more susceptible to it. Genetics. See my face? Okay? My daddy was a diabetic. My grandfather was a diabetic. Do you think I got genetics? Yeah. Am I a diabetic? No. Why? Choices. Food. Start there. And that's what That's what it is, guys. You can make things more complicated than you need to. And that's what happens. The world thinks they're smarter. And so they made a fat in a factory. And now every restaurant just about in the North America, they cook with that oil. And when you heat up that oil, you're asking for trouble. You go to the middle aisles of your grocery store and almost every packaged, every boxed goods that are there contain these bad oils. And these bad oils, your body goes, I don't know what you're giving me. It ain't natural. It ain't real. So you know what the body does? The same thing that this does around your organs. Your body says, hey, that's a foreign invader. I am now going to release cytokines. I read a study. Let me give you this because I read this. Okay. A new study. Okay. Inflammatory markers, okay? You know what that is? Like that, I taught you this, guys. CRP, the best one that I like. C-reactive protein. Your liver makes it. But it's a marker of inflammation. It's a marker of, oftentimes, a real good marker for silent inflammation. You don't even know you're not having pain, but you have inflammation. Listen to this, okay? This just came out. Inflammatory markers can double within 6 hours of eating a pro-inflammatory meal. Processed foods cooked in bad oil. Okay? So you go to fast food. You don't even have to go to a fast food. But, you know, it's amazing, right? Like, chicken fried in, a bad oil. Within 6 hours, your CRP can double. Your C-reactive protein marker can double just from eating that meal where the fries are cooked in the wrong oil. You get it? Okay? And this article, okay, and study went in to say chronic low-grade inflammation. Okay? So double whammos. The visceral fat around your organs equals chronic low-grade inflammation, okay? Having a bad meal with pro-inflammatory oils like canola, safflower, peanut oil, anything that's cooked, heat it up. Those oils are not meant to be heated because when they heat them, they're not even meant to be used other than in your car. But when you heat them up, they're worse. They oxidize. And chronic low-grade inflammation is linked to, this is the study, depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. So, okay. So what do? We talked about this yesterday. You have to start with your food. And you have to change your thinking. If you Most of you don't need to be convinced because you're convinced, right? You understand how your body operates. You understand that you've been lied to. But we always have new, okay? And remember, okay, so this live turned to a podcast. We have millions of downloads on that. You have to understand that people that never, they're introduced every day to this type of thinking on the Doctor Is In podcast. So they listen to it and that's why I try and go into detail and repeat all the time. I know my students, you get it. I just try and reinforce that God wanted you to eat eggs, meat, and cheese. He wants dairy, meat, eggs, and I'm not against the plant kingdom. Okay? I am not against the plant kingdom. Here's what science is showing. This is the truth of nutrition. Plants are good. Fruits and vegetables, they're good. They are. But you're not to live on them. They can't be your primary source of food. Salad. Why do I say salad like salad, the way I do it? Well, because I heard it a million times in my office. Dr. Martin, I love salad. I know. You think 100 years ago people were eating salad? Well, maybe a little bit, but not much. They just weren't. Salad, you know. Go out to Hollywood. See, everything starts in Hollywood. They like their salad because they want to be this big around their waist, right? Like skinny like a rake. And so they, you know, but they're not healthy. They really aren't. Anyway, okay? So, don't fear fat. Point number one. Don't fear saturated fat. Don't fear animal fat. Don't fear it because in nature, the way it's meant to be, i.e., an example, an egg, eat an egg. You got a lot of fat in an egg and eat the yolk. Crazy out there. Well, just eat the egg white. It's just protein. Yeah, but where all your vitamins are? Where's your healthy fat? It's in the yolk. Don't fear it. Don't fear dairy fat. Oh, why did you have some fat-free yogurt? When the world went fat-free, the world went stupid. And guys, heart disease, you think it's better? Because they always said, no, you know what causes heart disease? Steak, eggs, butter. That's what causes heart disease. No. Sugar and crappy carbohydrates cause heart disease. That silent inflammation that breaks down your blood vessels, and then you create plaque, and your triglycerides are through the roof, and you got fat balls that came from sugar when your liver got full. That's what causes heart disease. And then sugar on its own is glycation. You know what glycation is? It's hardening. Your blood vessels lose especially at the endothelial level, your little, the slippery, or supposed to be slippery part of your blood vessel. Okay, the Teflon layer, I call it. Your body has a Teflon layer. It's not made of Teflon, but you understand Teflon. Okay. Don't fear fat. Don't have the Netflix syndrome. What? Don't eat at night. One of the best things you can do to get rid of visceral fat. Don't eat at night. Why? You want insulin to have a break. Insulin is a fat-storing hormone. Remember that. Give it a rest. Put it to bed. Don't eat at night. One of the best things you can do. We did a story a week ago or 2 weeks ago on not eating at night and heart disease. What time you eat is really important. That's why I like intermittent fasting. People ask me about fasting all the time. I like but I like my way of fasting. If you eat the right foods, you don't need a lot of insulin. So that's sort of fasting, right? Isn't it? Think about it. You're having a steak. Okay? Your insulin's on the sidelines just about. Okay? It doesn't mean it's not there. It's just you don't need a lot of it. So you're sort of fasting. I almost called my book Sun, Steak, and Steel fasting without fasting. But if you don't eat at night, a lot of good things happen, including in your brain when you're self-cleaning oven because you're going to go into a better sleep. Your brain goes in, the self-cleaning oven gets turned on and it gets rid of all that debris. But the same thing with your liver because it'll work the night shift. Well, if it doesn't have to work too hard, that's a good thing. Don't fear fat. Don't eat at night. You want to get rid of that visceral fat around your organs. Get strong. 3, get strong. Muscle. Muscle's important. Okay? Yep. It's pretty good. But guys, it works because it's true. So you can simplify things. And like I said, it's really, really important by this. Okay? Okay. Now, subject to change, subject to change. Tomorrow is an afternoon session, subject to change. I'll let you know as early as I can. You guys are so flexible. I love you. And I realize that, it's an inconvenience for some, but okay. Friday is what? Q&A. And that's the most popular programs are a Q&A. So I answer your questions, guys. So send them in. info@martinclinic.com. We love it. We go through it. We have fun. People like the Q&A. Okay? They really do. Okay? So that's Friday. Okay? Friday morning, if you're part of our little book club, because we have a little book club online, okay? Rebuild Your Temple book, okay? I always come on Friday morning and do a little bit of devotional and a little health tip. I usually combine the two on Friday morning, okay? And then I come on live to do the Q&A. Okay, and that's on The Doctor Is In podcast. It's at the live. We do that one live. Okay, guys, we love you. Talk to you soon.